You're listening to Let's Stay Together Anime Break, the sub-series of Let's Stay Together where we talk about the 2019 anime Fruits Basket. I'm Ellen.
And I'm Kayla.
Today we're discussing episode 5, which was called Wait for Me, Tororo Soba. We're going to do our summary and spoiler-free discussion, then spoilery discussion like we always do today. This episode covered chapters 48 and 50 of the manga, and it was a pretty direct lift, but we'll talk about that later. And then we covered these chapters in our podcast episodes 25 and 26, so if you wanted to go listen in depth, you can go listen to those. The episode opens at a convenience store. Uo is there restocking the shelves, and a man carrying 1 million bags of chips tries to pass her. Uo suggests using a basket. He thanks her and bows, spilling chips everywhere, and Uo remembers Toru spilling all the folders or notebooks that she was carrying in middle school and completely loses it at this derpy man who is narrating. I wanted to watch that joyous laugh forever. And then we cut to the credits. Yay. At school, after the credits, Mayuko speaks to the kids. You don't need to be an adult, but be someone who takes responsibility for their words and actions. Thus ends my lecture. Make the most of your break. She mic drops and walks out of the classroom, and the kids all scream and freak out about how excited they are about summer break. Uo seems to have so much energy that she could tear apart a car right now, and Hana, donning a sun hat, carrying a bug net, inner tube, and of course a popsicle, tells her to chill out. Hana, it turns out, also has passed all of her classes to avoid having to take summer classes in a school with no air conditioning. She asks what they'll do with their free time, and Uo says that she already has work scheduled. A cafe during the day and convenience store at night, and they chat about a man that she met at the convenience store. He's like Toru, apparently. Clumsy and scatterbrained, Hana asks, and Toru's like, clumsy? Scatterbrained? Uo says that she hasn't seen him since, but it might be nice to see him again. After school, Yuki, Toru, and Kyo leave, and Toru's excited about summer, and Kyo teases her about being like a kid. Yuki sasses him about that. Toru tries to distract them from fighting by asking what they'd like for dinner. Shogayaki, a voice says from off-screen. It turns out to be Haru, who's standing in the school sprinkler. I want shogayaki, he says. Kyo tells him to stop being weird, and when Michi arrives and squirts Kyo in the face with a water toy, he then nogis him, as per usual. Haru tugs at Yuki's shirt and says, shogayaki is good for the summer heat, and Yuki's like, yeah. The kids all decide to go to a department store to do something fun, quote-unquote, as Momiji says, and they arrive at the top of the department store to a haunted house. Momiji is super excited and about to charge in, but Yuki suggests that they confirm that everyone wants to go. For example, Toru, who speechlessly clutches her backpack to her chest and sweats nervously. Toru, are you scared? Momiji asks. No, well, if you'd have to ask, I'd have to say that I am scared, but they say that if you clear your mind of worldly thoughts, even fire doesn't feel hot. I can't keep avoiding it. And Kyo is like, it's okay for you to avoid it. I'm going to enter and show you that I can, she screams, Fighto des! And walks up to the counter, slams her hands down, and says, please allow me to enter, to the poor cashier. I enjoyed this part very much.
Of how her simultaneously polite and terrified determination to buy a ticket.
I was so pleased. It also said, the translation for Fighto des was, go me, and I thought that was hilarious. Inside the haunted house, Toru's lips quiver, and she screams at everything that pops out at her. Kyo says he's impressed by how much she can scream from this fake-looking stuff. He asks why she's scared, and she's like, I wonder why, as tears stream down her face. Momiji, on the other hand, is laughing his way through, so Toru tries to scream her way through for a bit, but that doesn't help either. Then she decides that not looking is the only way to get through and promptly runs straight into a wall. Kyo and Yuki offer her to hold her hand at the same time. Figures in the foreground scream. Then they argue while Toru flails around with her eyes shut. Momiji pops in to hold her hand and help her through, then sasses Kyo and Yuki for letting their fight get in the way of helping a girl in need. Later, Haru asks if she's alright. He suggests that she make up a story about all the figures in the haunted house, like a soldier who pops up with arrows sticking out of him. He looks scary, Haru says, but he's actually a sympathetic young man who loves animals and cooking. The figure screams, and Haru continues a heartfelt but crazy story about the figure as soft piano music plays. The figure continues to scream. He has a sorrowful past. His mother abandoned him as a child. We fade to the quote-unquote past, where a tiny child with an arrow still sticking out of his head sleeps. His mother covers him with a sweater and leaves. Haru says this is the last memory he had of her. She was gone the next morning, and he was left with an alcoholic father and a pile of bills. He worked to repay the debt while dreaming of the day that they would see each other again. And now, today, his mother is here to see him, Haru says, and then grabs the head of a long-necked demon that pops out nearby. A moving reunion, he says, as he holds the heads together, and Kyo's like, don't break stuff! Momiji and Toru clutch hands. They're like, I'm so happy. Me too. Of course, the kids get in trouble with the manager of the haunted house, but Luigi is able to get them out of trouble by telling the manager the story, and he's so moved that he cries, and the kids are off the hook. Idiots! This town is full of idiots! Kyo screams. Elsewhere, Uo takes a break at the cafe to go get lunch. Out on the street, she sees the back of a man who looks like the one that she met at the convenience store. She runs after him to catch up and grabs the back of his shirt. It is him, and she smiles. She catches her breath and they chat. Her stomach rumbles, and he offers to treat her to lunch to thank her for her help at the convenience store. All right, she screams excitedly. Wait for me, Toronosoba. Free food! Yay! He asks if she wants something fancier, but she says that that's what she's into right now, and he smiles at her exuberance. At the restaurant, they introduce themselves. He introduces himself as Kureno. He says that it's been a long time since he had time off work and was just walking around. Things like going to convenience store are unnecessary for him. I live and work as I'm ordered to do, he says. Uo's taken aback by him calling it unnecessary. She asks if he's happy. He says he is, but it doesn't seem genuine. Then show a happier smile, she says, and she gets angry. Excuse me for being unnecessary. We met during that unnecessary time, though. Now we're eating together. I wanted to see you again way more than I thought. So I was happy. Uo leaves and she cries angry tears as she walks back down the street. He follows her and finds her. He asks her to calm down and apologizes. I was happy, too, that you talked to me again, he says. You chased after me to talk to me. I wanted to see you again, too. Uo chuckles. He asks if she's embarrassed, and she's like, shut up. And he says, you are, and smiles a truly happy smile. He cups her cheeks. People pass them on the street. He leans close as if he's going to kiss her, but then suddenly pulls away. As Uo watches him walk away, she says, it's as if he said, I like you. Later, Uo meets with Hana and Megumi. She complains about the man, and wonders why he left so suddenly. Uo's convinced that she won't see him again, and Megumi asks Hana if she's lonely, and she says she's fine. Hanajima, Uo says, if Toru gets a boyfriend, we're definitely crashing their first date. Of course, Hana says. At Shigure's, Toru makes everyone shoyaki, as requested. Shigure asks what they did today. They tell him about the haunted house and how moved they were by it. He said he's glad they're already having fun on their he said he's glad that they're already having a fun break. Toru says it's the first time that she's had so much fun at the beginning of summer break. Elsewhere, the man we know as Kureno walks down a dark hallway lined with traditional-style doors. If I could watch you smile, he thinks, I'd be by your side forever. If I could touch those lips. His thoughts throw off and he slides open a door. And inside the room, he's greeted by Aikido Soma.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know. Welcome back, Kureno, he says. You didn't make any mischief while you were outside, did you? Kureno smiles. Don't worry, Aikido, he says. Aikido comes to him, reaches up, and holds his cheeks. He slides the door shut, we fade to black. I'll most likely never get to see her again, Kureno narrates, and we close on Uo looking up at the night sky. And then we cut to the end credits. And that's it. What a fun episode. Question mark. I had a good time, at least.
Yeah.
So Kureno, it turns out his last name is Soma.
Oh my god.
Shocking. Not for us.
Yeah.
It's like a man with oddly colored hair, not a Soma. I mean, although his hair is pretty natural looking. It's like reddish. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is the first time we've seen Kureno animated, so I guess longtime manga fans will know about him as a character, but for new people, it's the first time. If you've seen
he's talked.
I know, that's right. He was he was in the car in that one episode of the first season. And everybody was like, oh my god, the people who knew. Everybody else was probably like, who the fuck is in that car? Who cares? Oh well, whatever.
Yeah. Your average watcher probably did not even notice him. It's just like, oh, it's a
He was just off
random
being...
servant of Aikido's.
Yeah, exactly. His personal secretary.
Yes.
Probably. Or his lover, as is established by the end of this episode, perhaps. Anyway, it was a good time. I was just excited. Something new.
Yeah.
Every day we make one step closer to the fully animated series that we've been wanting for like 20 years or something insane.
So I think it's like all the major characters that didn't make it into the first anime have had their like official debuts.
Yeah. Even the old maid. I mean...
Yes.
Yeah, Rin and Kureno in particular.
Yeah. And
the student council.
Machi.
Yeah.
Yep.
So exciting. I know.
It's finally happening.
It's happening. Kureno and Uo's non-romance.
You know what's also happening?
Encounter. What?
It's officially summer.
I know. It's summer. Mike was at summer break. Guys, summer's finally here. It's happening. It's May. It's still fucking cold where I live, but I mean,
It can't make up its mind where I live because it's that kind of place.
yeah, it's like very Katy Perry where you live.
Yes.
I almost sang Teenage Dream, and then I was like, that's the wrong song. Anyway, yeah, so yes, it is summer. It's officially summer, and you know what the best thing to do in summer is? Go to a haunted house? Question mark.
Yeah, apparently. On the top of a department store.
I'm not surprised it's at the top of a department store. Watching them go up all the escalators maybe reminded me of Japan, and I was like, oh, I miss Japan. I miss being able to go to Japan so much.
So many escalators.
I know. Well, especially in a department store. It's like 10,000 floors. Escalators for all of them. Or you can fight with people in the elevator. And by fight, I mean just stand really close, because Japan, nobody would ever fight you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. So the haunted house, I originally predicted that it wouldn't be included, as stated multiple times. But I actually really thought it was funny. So
Yeah, it was very amusingly translated to animation.
yes. Where there's like Toru constantly screaming, first of all.
Yeah.
Toru's like props to Toru's voice actor.
Yeah, I liked her scream laughing.
You can tell that she's actually laughing, which is great.
Yeah.
It's like a scream that turns into a fake laugh. It's wonderful. I enjoyed all the screaming when Haru's telling his like fake story about the guy with the arrows, where he keeps screaming in the background. It was really funny. And also when they do the like fake flashback, he still has arrows stuck in his head even as a child. I was like, this is wonderful. This is the only thing that it could, of course, like, and then it also had like it was like done up like a intense anime flashback too, where it's like
the dramatic music and everything.
Yeah, and then it's like wavy transition. Like if you look at it, it has this like really weird transition to the past. Like it was very it was a good parody. I liked it. I enjoyed the way they did it. Which is really the only way to do it, I think.
Yeah.
I appreciated the type of humor that was employed. I guess that's what I have to say about that. And then I also enjoyed how I mean, it's directly from the manga, but I enjoyed how they tell the manager, and he's like, what a touching story. So.
Yeah. Like Akio's like so exasperated that he like shares this with Yuki. He's like, everyone here is an idiot.
Yeah, I know. I feel like Yuki silently agreed with him for once, probably. The expression on Yuki's face. Everyone in this town is full of idiots. Everyone here's an idiot. Kyo screaming the whole time. He's like, don't run into stuff. Don't break stuff. I don't have a lot to say about this because it's like basically directly from the manga. So people who've been listening to this will know that we don't talk about things that intensely when they're almost exactly the same. But I also enjoyed all the Kureno scenes. I thought his voice actor did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Being dead inside. I mean.
Yes.
But, and I liked the way that Uo's voice actress also acted the scene, so it was good.
Yeah. I also enjoyed all the people like staring at them during all their like they had the servers in the restaurant, which is funny.
Yes.
But then like while he's trying to catch up to her while she's like screaming, you see people passing by and looking at them,
staring at them. It was wonderful. Yeah. And she's like, don't talk to me. And he's like, I'm sorry you're angry. And she's like, I'm not angry. He's like, don't cry. And she's like, I'm not crying. Everyone's staring. It was wonderful. It's not that I feel like that was an interesting, because I think in the way that it was done in the manga, there aren't any other people around. Like I mean, the street is like kind of empty, so they have this like moment where the moment where he touches her face, people kind of keep walking by. It was like a little, it just like made it feel like they were kind of in their own world, which was nice.
Yeah.
Some good animated movement additions in this one.
Yeah.
I also felt like at the end, Akito was really creepy. So when Kureno returns, I was like, whoa. Like, Akito has a real angry, crazy face on at the end.
Yeah.
Even in that brief scene where he greets Kureno at the house. So.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of building up the Akito tension every time Akito appears.
Yeah, give you the willies.
Yeah.
Like,
be like, oh yeah, that.
Oh. But like, where is he? It's so dark and depressing. Oh.
Yeah.
I understand now.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Akito very much in the anime, right? Like, there was the time in the car that we already talked about where we saw Kureno.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was, like, the time at school. And then I guess, like, a Tori's flashback.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much it, right? Like, we haven't
Yeah,
gotten to any of the
we've seen
Akito
just
stuff.
some like little snippets where Akito's being Akito in the
Yeah.
main house. Like I
Akito's
remember
being Akito.
the bit where he's like out in the like Zen garden. I can't remember what the context was. I know
I was
Hattori's
like,
like,
what are you talking
I know
about?
Hattori's like you're gonna catch a cold or whatever, and he's like
Oh.
out walking.
Yeah, it was, like, an added scene. I think
Yeah.
it was during New Year's. Akito's, like, barefoot
Mm-hmm.
in the garden, and Hattori is like, get inside, it's cold.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
like around that
because he
one.
says like something about Yuki at the time.
Yeah, so another.
Yeah, just bits of Akito being creepy
Yep.
here and
Including this one. So
Yes.
I appreciated a brief Mayuko, always.
Yeah.
I like how she just like leaves the class and they freak out. I also liked how they animated that because like kind of the same thing happens in the manga, but I like how they
Yeah.
kind of like had the like pause when she leaves and then everyone freaks out.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
and
how they
then
had
the
like
friends
the
were
like
there.
building quiet, silent excitement as they're like waiting for her to finish.
Yes. Yeah, the two Kyo's friends or whatever, the two
Yeah.
guys in their class were also asking Hana about having to take summer classes, and she passed. Yeah, so they were
Yeah.
there. They're back.
Yeah, it's funny because like she says that like it's implied that like she did have to take them the previous year, and then she's like, "This sucks, so I'm not gonna do that anymore." So I think it's kind of funny that the guys were just like, "Oh yeah, the schedule for this class is we always have to take her."
Yeah. They were just like, Hana's one of us, and she's like, no,
Yeah.
actually. And they're like, what? I think she did, because I think when Toru like failed her test, she was like, it's fine. Like, I've had to retake all my classes or whatever. Like, so it's known that Hana is a poor performer, but it seems to be her own choice.
Yeah. He's like, I just don't wanna.
Yeah. The only thing that was different between this and like the manga was that Shigure was there at the end. So that scene where they're all eating at Shigure's house, he just wasn't there. So it makes sense for him to be there in this context, which is fine.
He's always there to get food when Tori's making it.
A good point. Relevant for the manga chapter that we read this week.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I don't know. Other than that, it was good. I appreciated the adaptation, like the choices in the adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
I got no complaints. Next time is, are you really this stupid? Which is going to be something, I guess. Any other non-spoilery things that we want to chat about?
I think that's all I have.
Well, okay. Next time we'll join you then to discuss, if you're not sticking around for spoilers, next time we'll join you to discuss episode 6, which, as I just said, is called Are You Really This Stupid? So, exciting,
like
question mark?
rude.
Yeah, I know. Harsh. I didn't mean it, okay? I'm just quoting. Don't shoot the messenger. As stated, I can only remove some level of stupidity from this podcast, so I guess that doesn't count. All right. Guess bye then. We'll see you then. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See, as stated, I can only do so much for us. Especially for myself. I mean, mostly for myself. So we're about to talk about spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
This is the spoiler that I wanted to say, which is that in the original scene at the end, Shigure isn't there because he's with Akito.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it just like, yeah, it's just like, so it was the scene, the end of this chapter in the manga is where Hiro visits Rin, so they already animated that at the end of last season. Actually, did they animate this part with Shigure sitting above Akito? I forgot to check.
I feel like they did, actually.
I think they did.
I think it was like, yeah, just some, like one of those little ominous scenes with no dialogue that they did.
But yeah, so I mean, I guess they were like, well, it makes sense for him to be here. So
Yeah. Yeah, well, they, combined it with the Kureno reveal, so Kureno's with Akito right now. So.
yeah, exactly. Dun, dun, dun. Well, that happened at the end of the Kureno chapter. They just made it at the end of the episode. So
Yeah. That's what I mean. I mean, they made it, like, happen at the same time, so.
yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense. It was a good choice. But anyway, I was just like, oh, I don't know. I didn't know if that was spoiler or not. Now that I think about it, I think you're right. I think it was in the end of the last season.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing it.
Yeah. We were probably like, ooh, Sugar and Akito, ooh. I also don't have a lot of spoilers about this, except I guess it's like, ooh, and Kureno, that's coming. And then also, yeah, I don't know. Is there any other spoilers? Because I just wanted to talk about what might come next time. That was the only thing that I wanted to talk
I
about.
think it might be the Mayu Hattori episode.
Oh.
Because when Shigure is like
Calling her
visiting her in
stupid.
the bookstore, he's like calling her stupid for things.
Maybe. That's a good call. I thought, as you can see from my notes, but nobody who's listening to this can, I thought it might be like something with Rin. He definitely doesn't say that to Rin, though. I looked that up.
Yeah.
But I didn't look far enough. I forgot that that's in the. I mean, not forgot, but I didn't think of that that might be what comes next.
Yeah, I remember him like talking to her, being like, "This is why I'm saying you're stupid," and stuff to her. Like,
Being an asshole. I mean,
yeah.
oh, that's interesting.
So that's my theory.
Okay. I'm on board. I'm 100% behind you, and if we fail, that's all your fault. I mean, what? I don't know. Oh, that could be interesting. And then finally, it'll probably be like, I assume that it's gonna have some beach stuff, like the pre-beach stuff. But
Yeah, it'll probably be like the setup for
yeah,
the beach, and that was kind of part of the setup for the beach too.
yeah, it was part of the setup. It was just in the middle,
Yeah,
smushed in the middle.
it was before everyone got there because it was all Shikari and Hattori were still
Yeah,
out and about.
yeah. Maybe they'll just have everybody come at the same time instead of the other kids.
Or maybe
being
they'll like
alone.
start the beach setup and then like do this stuff and then
Maybe they'll do like a.
like do like, oh, we're going to the beach, and then like have this stuff, and then the next episode's like, oh, we're at the beach, but the adults still aren't here yet
Now
because
we're
they're
at
doing
the
stuff
arcade. I know.
that we just saw.
Yeah, exactly. Having their like romance love triangle question mark.
Yeah.
Oh, clever. Yeah, that could be it. Yeah, I predict. I feel like it could be either of the things that we said. Like,
Yeah.
I really hope they animate Rin being like, "It wasn't me that broke the window."
Yeah.
It's all I hope from that chapter. Because all that stuff before is like all the hat reveal. So are they gonna bring the hat? That's
Yeah.
at the end of Volume 9. So that's like the one. It's the chapter that's after they go and visit Shisho. So that's like one of the things that haven't been animated yet. And then of course all the stuff that used the Hattori Mayako stuff hasn't been animated yet. So
Yeah.
oh, I'm so excited now. Maybe it will be that. Even more excited than when I thought it was going to be pre-beach stuff. I was like, Tori didn't say like, I have a feeling something's coming in the summer. She's just like, I'm really excited about summer break, and it's like, no, it's not what I wanted you to say. I mean, it's good enough, but summer is here. You're right. Time to eat shogoyaki and play in sprinklers.
Yeah. That's what you do. It's what
Yeah.
Haru does anyway.
I mean, yeah. Haru got water dumped on him last week too, so
Yeah. He was like, that was refreshing. I should do it
I should
again.
do it again of my own free will.
Haru is the like quiet star of this anime, I think.
Sure. He is. I mean, he's kind of the quiet star of the manga. It's just that he's not in a lot of it. Toward
Yeah.
the
I
part
just
where
think this anime is bringing out like all his best moments in their best light. Like
I think it's because Haru. You need the like audio and sort of like I feel like to really appreciate Haru, you have to hear the delivery
yeah.
of the lines. You know, and I
Yeah,
think like
you just like completely deadpan
yes, but while
like,
standing
no
in a
matter what
sprinkler.
he's saying. Yeah.
Yes. And his kind of I feel like his sorry, he comes through best when his lines can be delivered. His like humor comes through best when his lines can be delivered like that.
Yeah.
And I think like because of the old anime, we have the benefit of seeing that. I like kind of knowing that. So when reading
Yeah.
through the manga, it's like you have like an impression of what his voice should be like. That's not like your own. You know what I mean? Necessarily, or maybe it is. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think like he wasn't in the first anime that much, so he's like got more time to shine in this one.
That's true.
Like even like he hasn't had more like major scenes that much, but just him being around and being Haru.
Yeah, being Yugi's friend,
Yeah.
being nice to Toru and Momiji. He's in the beach a lot though. Like he's around at the beach, so
Yeah. Well, he's got all sorts of Rin stuff coming up too. So
so much Rin stuff. So little time.
Yes.
And also, like, he has some beach stuff with, like, Akito, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
When Akito comes to the beach, so.
Yeah.
I don't think we said goodbye, so let's say goodbye quickly. And then
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you all for listening. Next time we will talk about Are You Really This Stupid? Again. I don't want to...
So rude.
It's like, I can't help it.
Don't insult our listeners.
I know. We've already been mean enough to them. It's a hard enough time right now. I don't need to call them stupid. All right. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's like all the major characters that didn't make it into the first anime have had their like official debuts.
Yeah, Rin and Kureno in particular.
And
And the student
Kakeru
council.
and Machi.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not all
The rest of the student council aren't really major characters.
What?
They are in my heart.
What's her face
but...
and what's his name?
Yes.
I mean, Kimi's a main
dare you
character
insult
in her own
those
show.
two?
How dare you insult that girl and that boy?
Those guys, those ones.
Those people. Thems. How dare you insult thems?
Yeah. I feel like Kimi has like her own full shoujo drama going on in the background. Like
Definitely.
she's the star of a different anime that's simultaneously happening.
It's called Hot Gimmick. I mean,
Yes.
Definitely. I'd love to see the Kimi show.
Yeah.
The trashy shoujo manga reader. My heart wants to see the Kimi show. Make a spin-off about her. Just call it the Kimi arc. Bring back Kimi. If I write Takaya a tweet, do you think she'll do it?
Could be called Fruits Basket, another Kimi.
Kimi's Basket, another Kimi. That was really funny. I don't know. It's just Kimi reminiscing about her time in high school, and she'd be like, and then there was Yun, but mostly it was about me.
Yeah.
Her internal thoughts are like Dr. Dolittle, where it's just like animals being all like crazy. It's like her, and then their internal thoughts are super sophisticated. That's like what her internal monologue is like. And then she's like, Kimi will do it if you buy Kimi dinner. It's like nobody knows what we're talking about. I'm gonna have to cut this to the end. Anyway, anime stuff.
Yeah.
Although his hair is pretty natural looking. It's
Yeah.
like reddish. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a spoiler, so you'll cut it. But it's like I didn't really realize until like looking at him in the anime. I'm like, oh yeah, he is kind of sparrow colored.
Yeah, he's kind of brownish.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's because there's only like a couple of promo images of him. So, like we never really see
Yeah,
his
in
hair,
color.
don't see his hair that much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just the outside of the cover. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you are Burb.
Burp colored.
He like scratches his hair and then like little down feathers fall out.
Yeah. With his foot.
Yeah, exactly. I really hope people listen to our banter in the most recent episode about the cat's room and that Kyo needed to be in there because he needed to acclimatize to the main estate.
I listened to it.
Oh, good. Did you? I was
usually-
sort of the... Huh?
That I usually don't, but I saw that you like specifically mentioned the banter at the end, and I was like, oh, and so I listened to the ending.
I listened to the ending. I was going to say, I was under the impression that you just listened to this after I released it. So I was...
Sometimes I listen to like a little bit or like check on like something we said
Oh.
because I couldn't remember it. But
I need to make sure I didn't sound like an idiot. I mean...
Yeah.
It's okay. I make sure we don't sound like idiots. I mean...
Thanks.
At least as much as possible.
Yeah. There's
Sorry,
only so
I
much you
can't
can
make
do for
any
us.
guarantees. Yeah, I know. You know, all I can do is make time shorter. I can't make us less dumb. Like it's
Yeah.
there's only so far I can go.
Like I make sure if we don't sound like idiots, the episode is just like an hour of silence.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes. It's just like, welcome to Let's Stay Together, and then it's like the music plays again, and then it's like, thanks for listening. Bye.
Yeah.
Although sometimes we don't even get that right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's so awkward. Anyway, yes, there was cat banter. The most important banter.
Yes. It was both his banter and animal break all in one.
Yeah. Oh, right. Well, maybe I'll edit in this part at the end so we can have animal break.